Hello, hello, my beautiful sacred feminines. So nice to be connecting with you again today. Whew. Feeling an interesting energy today. It's just every day is different, and lately we just never really know what we're going to get. The astrology's been so interesting, and we're moving through this evolutionary process, and our bodies are changing, our minds are changing, our energy is changing, our spiritual experience is changing so much. So it's just like each day, just gonna wake up like, what's the day gonna be today? So feeling, yeah, just kind of like what I was saying previously is like kind of slow and languid a little bit. So, but inspired to connect as well. So, we're just gonna, a topic arose today that I wanted to just explore and discuss with you a little bit, because it's something that that I've definitely played with and that has come up for me. And first, I'm going to light some sage, cleanse our space, and just set the intention for our connection here. This little, fix that there. Beautiful sage. Thank you all for being here so much, and thank you fire spirits. Thank you, sage spirits. Really. Oh. I just love that. It always does. It just, I know I've said this, I say it a lot, but it's amazing how quickly it brings me right down into my body and just feels so good. Thank you. So it really kind of shifts the energy in an interesting way. So thank you, gorgeous sage spirits. Yay. Okay, so this is, so I got an email today. I'm on somebody's email list, so I got their newsletter, the most recent newsletter, and as I was reading it, it kind of, it sparked something for me that I thought would be interesting to talk about with you all, because it was, again, like my last video, I approach everything with kind of really trying to be aware of my own triggers and what my energy is doing as I'm experiencing different experiences and connections and interactions and situations. So this email came through and I was reading it, and it was this woman who's on a lovely journey of self-discovery and exploration, and she's really passionate about serving and supporting others in their journey as well. And I feel I have a lot in common with this person, because she's also kind of on this journey of awakened feminine, and the sexual sensual energy, I can tell, is a key piece for her. So so I definitely feel like a kindred soul there, a kindred spirit, a sister for sure, absolutely. So it's been fun to watch her journey, and I can see she's gone through some very similar stuff over the last year, where everything is just kind of like falling apart, and then we're rising from the ashes in such a stronger, more empowered way as women, as the feminine, as the sacred feminine. It's she's coming back strong, and we're coming up strong. Again, I trust that everything in our journey as humanity is precisely the way it's meant to be. I trust in divine timing. I trust in the divine plan and the orchestration of all of it. So the imbalance of the feminine and the masculine was part of our journey for whatever reason. We don't know the whole picture, of course, but I'm sure if we could zoom out really far further than our own perceptions and understandings that are very limited by our own experience and our own what we can perceive in our human experience, and the limitations and constructs and conditioning that we each pick up individually as we go through our lives. That really shapes and influences how we see the world and how we experience it and how we determine what is positive, negative, good, bad, right, wrong, etc. So it's very easy to look at the patriarchy and the imbalance as something that was wrong and bad and evil. I hear that word a lot, and I I used to have that mindset. I absolutely did. But then as, my consciousness expanded and I'm able to like step back and like zoom out quite a bit more, it's just like, wow, we don't really have any idea why or what, but I absolutely trust that everything does happen precisely as it is meant to. And who knows what we've learned. I mean, I know I've learned a lot out of that experience. And those energies and my own happenings of my life, due to patriarchal repression, oppression, etc. It's helped me to get into my power and learn more about myself and my strengths and what it is to be a strong feminine presence, energy. Excuse me. And there's a part of me, it's always so funny. It's like, well, why couldn't we just be in harmony and balance and union without having to go through these experiences and learn lessons and etc. I don't know why. I don't have the answer to that, but it just seems to be like the rules of the game and how it's set up. So I can either fight back against that and go, well, why wasn't it this way? Why did we have to learn these lessons? We can take that approach, surely. In my own experience, that has caused a lot of suffering, and better to just kind of like, for me, accept that that's the way it is. That is the game that we're playing here, and it is a game. And when we can zoom out and like, take a different approach and a different perspective and recognize it as such, we can play with it very differently, and we're not so mired in the experience of it and the heaviness of it. It really is all up to us. We get to decide how we want to relate to the patriarchy, how we want to relate to capitalism, how we want to relate to sexism, and how we want to relate to all the isms, right? And how we want to relate to our own power, to our own beautiful divine essence and nature, how we want to relate to our own gorgeous amazing bodies, how we want to relate to our expression of the feminine, and how we want to relate to other people's expression, beautiful expression of the masculine or the feminine or whatever. Where attention goes, energy flows. If we want to focus on the negative aspects of our experience, we can really dive right into that and rock it out. I mean, I've done that plenty, so I know how that works. I've chosen now to dive into a different experience of humanity and what we're doing here, and really create a very different life for myself based on seeing more of the positive and the beauty, and focusing on that, and filling my environment and my life with that. It really is all up to us, and that is how we create our own reality, and that's how we take control back, and move out of the victim consciousness of what's happening here. Because certainly there's things happening here that we might perceive as negative, but there's so much beauty as well. And if we just pivot and focus on the beauty and the joy and the love and the gorgeous things about humanity and this beautiful planet, that's the experience we start having. If we want to start focusing on destruction and negativity and violence and hate and war, that's what we create. Basically this is all a mirror, reflecting back to us what it is in our consciousness. So this whole experience is that. So the more of us that align with the beauty and the harmony and the love, the more of that energy we're going to radiate out, and that's going to create our experience. It's just how it works. It's just the physics of it, It's just so we can do whatever we want here, really. So I'm choosing to align more fully with with love and abundance and harmony and joy and positivity and beauty. I spent too much of my life in the negative and really focusing on that and really harping on that, and why me, why does this happen, why is it like this. Yeah, didn't go well. Let's just say that. So, and I guess that kind of plays into what what came up for me in this email that I received, this newsletter earlier today. And this woman was talking about her kind of awakening process over the last year and how she's stepping more fully into herself, and how she got lost in this other kind of expression that was, I don't know, I don't remember the exact words that she used, but in a group of people that were probably spiritually inclined, but maybe it sounds like she got kind of shunned and shamed for her kind of moving out of a certain mindset and out of a certain way of being, a certain way of showing up within this group that she was in. And they weren't really fully on board with where she was going. And I kind of feel like she was in with this kind of the love and light people, the just I don't know, a certain group, kind of more maybe I don't know. I don't actually know the group, so I can't really say. But I could tell there was animosity in her experience, and she was kind of poo-pooing them, shunning and shaming them for not being more awakened and not being in the state that she was in, not being in this new level of consciousness that she had come into. So it just kind of it struck me, and it, again, when I feel my energy just go, oh, that's interesting. I just look at that and I recognize, like, we have a tendency sometimes, not always, of course, but when we move out of one level of consciousness, from one level into another, maybe greater consciousness, it's very easy for us to kind of poo-poo that other consciousness that we were at and that group that we were connecting with. So I saw that in this experience, as she was moving up, she was kind of putting down this other group, and it's just like, it's just really important for us to, I don't like the way I just did that. Don't point that at me. It's just really important that we not do that, or recognize our tendency maybe to do that. And I remember in my teachings with my teacher, there was a woman teacher I was with for many years, and one of the things she would say is that so we're on the way to the train station, and to get to the train station we maybe take a cart a cart to get to the train station, and we walk to the cart, and we get on the cart takes us to the train station, and then we're going to get on the train. It's all different levels of transportation, and we could judge them as whatever, but maybe this train it's faster, it's of a higher technology, or such, and it's going to maybe move us there faster. But we don't get to the train and turn around and go, "Oh, fuck you, cart, you suck." She's like, you don't shame the cart for getting you to that part of the journey. You get off the cart and you get on to the train, and carry on with your journey. So that is it was a really important teaching to me that's always stuck with me. We go through different processes in our evolution and in the expansion of our consciousness, and it's really important not to judge ourselves first and foremost for wherever we were at, and not to judge others as we continue moving on, as we continue our evolution. That's where so much suffering comes in, the judgment and the othering and the shaming. Just appreciate where we were, because it's not that group that that we were, that's the consciousness we were at. We were vibrating at that level, and we were connecting with those people, and they were supportive for us, or a situation. Maybe it's a career, maybe it's a job, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's a educational path, you know, whatever it was. That's where we were at, and that's what was at one moment. That was the thing for us. That was really supportive for us, and that's where our passion lied, and we were so excited about it, you know. Just appreciate where it got us, and the container that held for us to expand even further, and just really, it's just really cautious of us. I really caution us against like shunning or shaming, and especially past relationships. It's really easy for us to do that, like to the ex-partner, and like, oh, that sucked, oh, they were bad, oh, they blah blah blah, oh, they took me down, they were, you know, they were holding me back. No, that's the level we were vibrating at that moment. That relationship got us to where we were. It helped us to awaken even more. It helped us to see more of ourselves. It helped us to get strong in our experience and strong in our power, and recognize the things in ourselves that we needed to see in order to move beyond them, you know, in order to elevate and expand. And there was important lessons there. So any experience that we have, there's lessons there, and we didn't end up in those experiences for no good reason. I mean, it's part of our journey. So it's really helpful and supportive for us to not place judgment, not shun and shame, because that's really just judging ourselves, you know, right? It's just putting ourselves down for wherever we were. So, and really bringing this home, not to judge ourselves for any of our past experiences and where we were, and be in guilt and shame around any of our past experience. That is a very important piece of our journey. And I speak from so much experience on this one. You know, I have a history of drug and alcohol abuse. I was a heroin addict for some years, and I was living on the street and quite literally digging in dumpsters. You know, that was my lived experience, and that was just part of where I ended up, you know, and in jails, in numerous trips to jail. And that's the lifestyle I was in. It's part of what came with it. You know, it was part of that experience. Part of me is kind of like grateful that I got to have that experience, because it's not something that a lot of people do. Because I made it out of it, you know, I'm on the other side, way on the other side now, and I can look back at that and go, wow, that was quite the adventure. And for me, as a, you know, a lot of Scorpio energy and a lot of Pluto energy in my chart, I kind of like, there was something about deep diving into that world, of that dark world of addiction, and just some real deep darkness, you know, that was something I needed to go through, and really helped inform the rest of my life, and it helped me to understand grief, shame, guilt so much, because moving out of that, because you're really on the absolute fringes of society and treated very badly, you know, and I treated myself very badly, and I had so much guilt and shame around that whole experience, and that really kept me down and kept me from being in my power. It was a very long journey to move out of that guilt and shame into the person that I am today, and just that's not a part of my experience anymore, that guilt and shame around all of that and how I was. It's just part of my journey. And but I spent a lot of time shaming myself, was the point, and for my decisions, for my choices, for my actions, for where I ended up. And it just didn't serve me. It kept me from so much self-love. It kept me from abundance and prosperity. It kept me from happiness. It kept me in drinking. You know, even though I got off the drugs, and I started drinking because I couldn't really deal with myself and the shame. So it was one way to, it just perpetuates the cycles. It perpetuates the self-inflicted harm, the self-sabotage. So really important not to shame ourselves for any of our past experiences, from any relationships, any way that we didn't maybe do things as well as we would have liked. You know, that's part of our journey, and shaming ourselves for it just doesn't get us anywhere. And that doesn't mean we don't learn from it and make different decisions and go, wow, I don't ever want to do that again, you know, and that's the whole point. Like, we learned that really well. Great, well, let's just embody that and move forward. But we don't need to keep beating ourselves up for it, because that's not going to get us anywhere and keeps us in a very low vibration. Shame is like the lowest vibration, the very lowest vibration of our human experience. So shaming ourselves or shaming others for wherever they're at on their path, that just keeps us entangled in it. We can't shame somebody else without being in shame ourselves. That's just how it is, just how it works. Again, we're in physics. It's that energy. You know, there's if we're shaming somebody else, there's something we're feeling shameful about within us, and that's where we get to look at that, and we get to see, like, again, there's those triggers, there's those defenses, there's those unpleasant experiences and feelings. We're just like, okay, if we feel a need to judge somebody else, we have got to dive into that. Why do I feel the need to judge that person? And I looked at that with this person, and I was just like, okay, no, this email that came through, I wasn't judging it. I was reflecting, and I was just noticing, like, okay, so there's but I did look at the mirror. I'm like, okay, is there a mirror here for me? Like, is this and just a cautionary tale, you know, always a reminder, don't be judging and shaming others for where they're at in their journey and where they're at on their path. Especially important, don't be judging things like the patriarchy. It's really easy to get into that one and feel very self-righteous and very validated in that kind of stuff, you know, or political systems or government, anything. Really, 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 really important to just always notice when we're judging, or when we're feeling self-righteous, or when we're feeling better than, or that somebody is to blame, or if it weren't for them, everything would be this, you know, when we're in that state. And it's really easy right now with so much. I mean, there's always stuff going on in the world. There's always wars. There's always stuff. I mean, and I pray that that's not going to be the case. I trust that it won't be. I feel like we're moving out of that. But, you know, the journey is kind of going into it more, perhaps, than not. There's been horrible things going on our planet for, you know, thousands of years. This is not new for us. This is you know, this isn't new. It's not new. So my point being, you know, it's there's always going to be some external factor to look to blame, to, if only, you know, and that's just not going to get us anywhere. We need to bring it in always, and take responsibility for how we're showing up. Quit looking to external factors, quit looking outside, quit feeling like it's something out there. We have absolute, complete control of our experience and how we want to experience this world. If we're focusing on that and blaming that, there's something in ourselves that we're not taking responsibility for. And that's what this email brought up for me. And I just got to look at myself like, okay, where am I doing that for myself? Where am I shunning and shaming somebody else in their level of consciousness? Because that, we tend to do that. It's very easy. It's very easy to do that. Or in some like hierarchy, you know, that's again been ingrained in us since day one. You know, I'm more spiritually advanced than that person. I'm not as spiritually advanced as that person, because it goes both ways. Like I see these other people having these kind of psychic gifts and abilities, and I'm just like, why aren't I there? Why don't I have that? Why don't I have that? So it's the same freaking thing as shaming somebody else for wherever they're at. I'm kind of shaming and shunning myself for not being at that, at what I perceive as something better, something that I'm lacking, you know. And I am, again, constantly noticing this part of myself that wants to feel in lack, that wants to feel self-righteous, that wants to feel, place myself in some sort of, where do I fit in this scheme, on this spectrum? Where am I less than, better than, you know? Why do we do this? I don't know. Again, I think it's just very ingrained in us. We're always comparing and contrasting ourselves to others. And this has been really huge for me. I have 3 planets in Libra, and that comparing, contrasting, what I've learned in astrology is very kind of typical of the Libra energy. So it's been a thing for me, and I know, again, it's very societal. We're from day one in school, we're ranked. Where are you? Are you at the 100th percentile, or are you down here? We are ranked by how we show up, what our minds, our abilities, our learning abilities are. We're ranked from very early on. Like, how good are you doing? How bad are you doing? So it's not a surprise that we're always kind of looking to put ourselves in some sort of category, based on this, that, or the other. Take your pick. It's an individual thing. Like, the flavor is the same, but the experience is the same, but the flavor is a little different. Maybe I think you get my point. But so I do watch that within myself. And so, again, I just wanted to, I'm not shaming this woman at all for her thing. That's part of our journey, because I've absolutely done it myself, and I continue to do that. But again, just bringing it to our consciousness, something to look at and reflect on, because I'm just always looking at where can I move into greater balance and harmony within myself, and then that reflects in my outside world, my external world. Where am I judging? Where am I shaming? Where am I feeling less than? Where do I feel like I'm lacking something? And it is funny, because it used to be like lacking money or finances or something. Now it's lacking spiritual gifts and abilities. Lacking, I'm not channeling as well as I want to be, as well as that person. Something like it's so, but it's funny how it shows up, but it's the same fucking thing. It's the same damn thing. It just maybe now it looks more spiritual, but it's the same freaking thing. So I'm just, again, always looking for my stuff, always looking for where's my stuff, where's my mirror, where was this email, my mirror today. And being very cautious of, I used to blame the patriarchy for a lot of stuff, like in this, and poo-poo that experience. And now I'm just like, yeah, no, that's the experience. And now what do we do with that? And what have I learned from it? And how has it actually benefited me to step stronger into my feminine expression, and just play the game. It's like when we go and watch a movie, we pick certain movies that appeal to us and we want to go watch. We picked this movie to play in. We're playing a character here. We're and how do we want to play it? How do we want to play it? We can be that victim. We can be miserable. We can be in hell here on earth. We can absolutely do that. But we can play a different character as well. And we tend to play a whole bunch of different characters, right? My character has evolved quite a bit, and she continues to. So, and my character has a blast sitting here talking through this stuff with you all. I love that. Like, what does my character want to do? She loves to have spiritual conversations, and that is just so much fun. So, may this spark something for you. May this serve you well. May this support you on your journey. And I invite any comments or thoughts or anything that this might arise for you. And again, the mirror. This is all a mirror. Whatever is in our reality, whatever is our experience, look at that. If there's something that's really triggering you, upsetting you, causing you to get defensive, look at that. What is it within yourself that is trying to show you something? Where's the lesson? Where's the wisdom? Where's the trying to get you to see something in yourself? So, and yeah, judgment is like, that is such a way to take us out of ourselves and out of responsibility for our own shit and how we're showing up. It's so easy to judge the other. It's so easy to judge the family. Family, really easy. That one's so easy. If my mother had only blah blah blah. I spent years of my life in that one. Years. Family, relationships. If my partner only was like this, if my partner did this, if they just wouldn't this, if they just would that, then everything would be this. government, partner, family, environment, the earth, you know, oh my gosh, there's so much to look outside. So bring it back in, keep bringing it back in. If we want to think it's the other that needs to change, recognize that and bring it in, and recognize that there's something in ourselves that needs addressing. So this is not a new teaching. This is something that I'm sure you've heard many times before, and I've, you know, been playing with this for a very long time and continue to dive deeper and dive deeper and dive deeper into it as I move along my path and my consciousness, you know, expands into a new level. It's like there's, like I said earlier, going from feeling a lack of money and finances to feeling a lack of psychic abilities. Like, that's just so it's funny to watch ourselves, how sneaky we can be, how we can just kind of, oh, it's not that anymore, but look how it's showing up over here. Isn't that interesting? Again, no shunning and shaming, no judging of myself, just like, okay, there's that. So now how do I you know, recognize it, honor it, and not fall into it, not fall prey to it, you know? So, okay. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful for your presence. I keep wanting to say I love you. This happened in a video earlier today. I love you. I love your journey. I love what you're doing here. I love all of us. I love humanity. I love how we're moving through this. I love being a part of this with you. So I do wish you much love. I wish you much self-love, because that's what it all really boils down to, self-love. When we love ourselves, everything else matches that and aligns with that, you know, and it's beautiful. So and that's, again, coming out of the judgment, really supports our self-love. Just come into ourselves, just love ourselves, and that's the journey. That's the journey. So okay. Thank you so much for being here, and wishing you much love on your journey. Bye all. Bye.